Superman vs. Ichigo. Who would win? The warrior of justice versus the symbol of hope. I already scaled both their cosmologies, and I just wanted to see who would win, but I'm probably going to go over a few things anyways, so that you don't have to scrounge through my account too much. So let's get right into it. I spun a wheel on it to see who goes first, and Ichigo won, so let's just go over all of his stats and how strong he is. Kamen Rider Ichigo is the concept of Kamen Rider. He exists in a way that he can summon any Kamen Rider he wants. Kamen Riders as is are abstract concepts of justice. They represent the hero archetype that exists in the hearts of every single living being, and he is the physical manifestation of those archetypes from the hearts of the real world. Real world being at the very top of the cosmology, transcending everything. And due to the inherently abstract and conceptual nature of riders, as long as he is the antithesis to evil, he will always revive. He is functionally immortal. By his real-world author, Shotaro Ishinomori, he is seen as the ideal rider, the ultimate rider, if you will, which is pretty consistent considering he can already summon the riders, and he's consistently shown upscaling off of other riders. Like, for example, he's shown equal to or even superior to characters who are stronger than characters like Decade. The same Decade who was able to manipulate the plot of the story. His passive existence was destroying the stories of all writers across the multiverse, including higher universes that see everyone as fiction, like the world of Net or the world of Televicoon, which contains all the different Televicoon magazines, which would include these universes' cosmo layers, which there are an infinite amount of them, each running on their own logic, or the fact that every single one of the universes within each of the cosmo layers have their own sets of universes, and then they each have their own mirror worlds, and etc, etc. And then each of the people in each of these worlds have their own universes within their souls, as well as infinitely layered dream worlds, with each dream world being a fiction to a higher dream world. And then you have stuff like worlds within stories, where each story is viewed as fiction to the higher one. And every single universe that's contained within one of these stories has stories that each have their own lower realities as well. And all of this is being destroyed by base Decade, by just existing too. But there's obviously a lot more crazy stuff that he has in his bag. Because like all Kamen Riders, he's able to manipulate the laws of reality at his whim. Like, for example, he has enough speed to transcend time and dimensions to reach other riders in need. He's able to consistently match the speed of characters who transcend time and space with their speed. For example, Black RX has stated multiple times to be able to do this. He was able to move despite being within the space-time rupture system, which made a spaceless, timeless, and dimensionless void. He's been able to match people like Decade in combat before. Keep in mind, Decade untransformed was able to exist within Saver's realm. Saver's realm, it not only transcends physicality, but it also transcends the concept of space and time as well. Which means that his irrelevant speed scaling is actually pretty consistent. Also, even though he could summon all the different riders, it would be an extremely long list to go over all the different abilities, but I will go over all the abilities that he passively gets for being a human within his verse. Like all people, he has access to infinite imagination. Imagination gives him the power to make the impossible possible. That he can manipulate possibilities and impossibilities with his powers by making those impossibilities possible. A bit confusing, but I hope you get the idea. Quite literally, what he imagines can become reality. You can even use stuff like your emotions and your imagination to manipulate the narrative of your own story. You literally gain plot manipulation from wanting a different outcome from your own narrative. And also, he was able to instantly travel all the way to where the real world was just to help out Saber. It's at the very top of the cosmology. And once again, if you want to know what like half of the stuff I'm saying here is and you don't know anything about Kamen Rider cosmology, I recommend you just look at the video, please, because it is a mouthful. And the last bit of information before I finally get to go to Superman is that when a Kamen Rider or anyone in their verse has a higher level of power or they scale above a different character, they completely nullify their hacks. It's just extremely consistent that if you go beyond the limits of a different character, you can just completely nullify what their ability is supposed to do to you. If you look at the cosmology video, or I'm assuming you did it after this, he is countless layers into high outer. It is nuts. Let's finally get on to Superman. That took forever. Superman is the conceptual embodiment of hope. As long as hope exists, Superman exists, and he will never die. He is immortal. And Superman has a pretty decent amount of stuff as well. I mean, like, he has stuff like the retcon punch, which literally retcons reality with a punch, as the name obviously implies. He's able to tank existence erasure from beings like Mr. Mixie-Expidolix, who transcends Hecate, who transcends the sphere of the gods, which has infinite heavens that are going in a qualitative hierarchy. So, yeah, it's pretty powerful. Like space, time, and distance have largely lost their meaning to him. And beings like Dr. Manhattan believe that Superman, if he was trying, could kill him. Keep in mind, this is the same Perpetua who is from the highest point within the Source Wall. I mean, hell, he's broken the Source Wall before. Granted, there's context to that, but he still broke the Source Wall, which scales above the 6th dimension, so I mean... And before anyone even says it, I said it on the DC video, I'm gonna say it on this as well. The 5th and 6th dimension are not literal mathematical dimensions. The 5th dimension alone already transcends space and time, meaning that it can't be spatial or temporal. And also, it's scaling above stuff like the Sphere of the Gods, which is already a platonic realm, would already make it not spatial. So, I don't know, man. And don't worry, we're about to get into some more of his scaling in a second, but let's take a break to talk about a little bit of the metaphysics around Superman, as if we weren't already talking about most of them. The universe centers around Superman, and the metaverse is created from his existence. The multiverse actively grows to preserve every era of Superman. Every event and non-event spawns a new set of infinite realities. And no matter how many times you try to attack Superman's existence, he will always survive. In fact, his existence is so potent that he transcends all of creation. You could even argue that he's able to do stuff like this because of the concept that Superman always wins. I honestly think that he scales pretty consistently to stuff like the Source Wall. I mean, for example, he's fought beings like Scott Free with the entire anti-life equation contained within him. The anti-life equation is equal to the Source, which, if you couldn't tell, the Source Wall is beneath the Source. Or I guess more accurately, it's outside of the Source Wall. And if you see my DC scale, that's a few layers into high universal. Let's talk about his speed, because I talked about it a bit with Ichigo, so I think it's only fair. Although he is slower than Wally by a large margin now, he is very much speedster level. And for a long time, he has been very consistently around their range of speed. He's been able to move faster than stuff like Time Stop before, being able to run through time with the flashes. He's flown beyond the bounds of infinity. And for even more Source Wall scaling, he has been able to fly from Apocalypse to the Source Wall before. So I'd say by this point that Superman's pretty clearly in the relevant speed range. Now that we covered everything Superman and everything Ichigo, who would win between these basically godlike beings that are abstract concepts given form? Honestly, I think it might be Kamen Rider Ichigo, and I'll go over why. I think the first part of this is that Kamen Riders just have a lot more hacks underneath their belt, and also Superman's scaling within his cosmology is like a couple layers into high outer, at least in my scale. And at least for me, Kamen Rider Ichigo is countless layers into high outer. But even with that, we should still go over multiple reasons for why I think Kamen Rider Ichigo would win this. Both Superman and Kamen Rider Ichigo consistently have scaling that gets them into those irrelevant speed ranges, as both are able to move in places that transcend time, space, and dimensions, as well as be able to travel instantly to high parts of their cosmology. The thing is, though, is that it took Superman quite a while to get from Apocalypse, which is in the Sphere of the Gods, to the Source Wall. He's traveling through less layers and more time. Meanwhile, Ichigo appeared instantly there to save Saber, which means not only did he have to traverse the entire cosmology from the base universes all the way to near the real world, but also while he's traveling, he has to pass multiple insurmountable barriers between realities. Also, they both have a lot of survivability. Like, don't even get me wrong, like Superman has the ability to survive as long as hope exists. Ichigo has the ability to survive as long as justice exists. So it's not like either one can just one-shot the other and get it over with. However, for what we do know, Kamen Rider Ichigo would just constantly keep on evolving, making the gap between their power larger and larger until it's completely unignorable. He is constantly evolving in the middle of battle. And you might say, what about the narrative that Superman always wins? Can he counter that? Not only could Kamen Rider Ichigo make impossible outcomes possible, but the imagination of people bends the narrative to their will within Kamen Rider. If it's within Superman's narrative that he always wins, he doesn't have to abide by that. Also, he could just bend the laws of reality so that it wouldn't really affect him, or due to the fact that Ichigo outscales, he could just outscale the hacks by extension and it wouldn't affect him. So yes, although I think these two characters have a lot of similarities, I think that overall, Kamen Rider Ichigo has access to way more hacks that can allow him to bend reality or the possibilities of this battle to his favor. Also, the fact that being stronger than someone by a large enough margin means that you wouldn't be affected by their hacks inside of the Toei verse means that Ichigo should realistically not be affected by stuff like Superman's narrative, despite him already having plot resistance anyways, should also go in his favor. And I feel like speed's a bit more contentious, but I just think that Ichigo being able to instantly appear in the highest parts of his cosmology just objectively is better than the Superman feats, like him flying from the sphere of the gods to the source wall, especially when you look at how it took him more time to cover less layers than Ichigo did. And I also haven't brought up stuff like how he could summon all the riders that he wants to help him, how he can summon people who are the embodiment of the Heisei era, or how his soul's the conceptual embodiment of the Showa era, or really a lot of things. There are a lot of riders, and I do not want to go over all of them. But yeah, in my opinion, Ichigo definitely wins this. Anyways, make sure you tell me your opinion down below. And yeah, that's about it. And before I'm done, I cannot stress enough that you guys definitely should be looking at the Toei cosmology and the DC cosmology scales that I've done respectively, because there's a lot of terminology and a lot of scaling that I didn't really get the chance to talk about because each of those videos, like, one's like 7 minutes, one's like 9 minutes or something like that. It is a lot, and I could not cover it all here. So, I don't know. Do with that what you will. Anyways, I'm done. Bye!